history books tell you the US invaded Iraq in 2003 for weapons of mass destruction, they never found any. Do you know why? Because the weapon wasn't a missile. It wasn't chemical. It was archaeological. Buried beneath the great Ziggurat of Ur lay a device described in the Epic of Gilgamesh, a doorway to the gods. Saddam Hussein thought he could open it. The US military made sure he didn't. They didn't go there to destroy it. They went there to steal it. Part 1. The Ziggurat. Location: Dhikar Province, Iraq. Date: March 23, 2003. Sergeant Cole Miller of the Marine Force Recon wasn't told why his squad was securing a museum site while the rest of the army was pushing to Baghdad. Their orders were specific: secure the Ziggurat of Ur. Let no one in, let no one out. The night was choked with dust and the smell of burning oil. But around the ancient temple, the air felt electric. The hairs on Cole's arms stood up. At 0200 hours, a Black Hawk helicopter with no markings landed. A team of civilians in hazmat suits jumped out. They weren't inspecting chemicals. They were carrying ground-penetrating radar. "Move the perimeter back," the lead scientist shouted at Cole. "If the resonance hits you, it will turn your brain to liquid." Cole watched from a distance. They weren't digging for oil. They were excavating a massive circular metallic ring from the sand. It was covered in cuneiform writing that glowed with a faint blue luminescence. It looked like stone, but it hummed like a power plant. Part 2. The cargo. Location: Groom Lake, Area 51, Nevada. Date: 7 years later. Cole was no longer a Marine. He was head of security for Sector 4 at Groom Lake. He knew what they had brought back from Iraq. They called it the Looking Glass. The device sat in the center of a lead-lined chamber. It wasn't a doorway you walked through. It was a doorway you looked through. Dr. Eris Thorne, before his death, was the lead researcher. He explained it to Cole once, after too many drinks. "Time isn't a straight line, Cole. It's a cube. This device, it rotates the cube. It shows us probable futures." The machine used sound frequencies to vibrate the air inside the ring until it became a solid mirror. And in that mirror, the US government watched the future. They predicted the 2008 market crash. They predicted political rises. They were playing God. But then, the mirror stopped showing multiple futures. It started showing only one. Part 3. The Convergence. It was a Tuesday when the alarms went off. Cole rushed to the control room. The looking glass was spinning violently, shaking the entire underground facility. "It's locking on!" a technician screamed. "We can't shut it down! It's drawing power from the grid!" The mirror inside the ring stabilized. It showed a date, October 12, 2026. The image in the mirror was clear. It showed the sky, but there were no stars. The sky was torn open. Massive biomechanical ships were descending from the rift. The cities below were burning. But the terrifying part wasn't the invasion. It was the origin of the ships. They bore the same cuneiform symbols found on the device in Iraq. "We didn't steal a weapon," Dr. Thorne whispered, his face pale as a ghost. "We stole a homing beacon, and we just turned it on." Part 4. The Loop. The image in the mirror shifted. It showed Cole standing in that very room holding a detonator. Cole looked at his hands. He looked at the mirror. In the reflection, future Cole was screaming something, but there was no sound. He mouthed the words, "Break the cycle." In the future reflection, Cole pressed the detonator. The facility exploded. The beacon was destroyed. The ships in the sky vanished. Present-day Cole realized the truth. The machine wasn't just showing the future, it was giving him a choice. The device was sending a signal to its creators across the galaxy. As long as it existed, they were coming. "Shut it down!" the general ordered. "Cover it up!" "No," Cole said, unholstering his weapon. "It doesn't need to be covered up. It needs to be buried." Cole knew the facility's self-destruct codes. He was the head of security. Part 5. The Sabotage. Cole fought his way to the reactor core. The Majestic Group's internal security team, the Cleaners, were on his tail. Bullets sparked off the catwalks. "Miller, stand down!" The general's voice boomed over the PA. "You are destroying the most important asset in human history." "It's not an asset, General," Cole shouted, typing the sequence into the reactor console. "It's a doorbell." Sequence initiated. T-minus 60 seconds. Cole didn't run. He went back to the looking glass chamber. He wanted to see the future one last time. The mirror swirled. The burning cities were gone. The ships were gone. Instead, it showed a peaceful world. But it also showed something else. It showed Cole's grave. He smiled. Worth it. The Cleaners breached the door. They raised their weapons. Cole closed his eyes. Epilogue. The Missing Time. Date, present day. Location, a dive bar in Mexico. The man drinking tequila had a scar running down his face. He went by the name of Nico. He had no fingerprints. On the TV, a documentary was playing about the mysterious seismic event in Nevada back in 2010 that collapsed an old mine shaft. The official report said it was an earthquake. Nico chuckled. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small, jagged piece of stone. It glowed with a faint, dying blue light, a fragment of the device he had managed to smuggle out before the blast. He had not died. The explosion had thrown him elsewhere, or elsewhen. He looked at the stone. It vibrated. You can't break the cycle. You can only delay it. The stone flashed. A date appeared burned into the wood of the table. October 12, 2026. The beacon was destroyed, but the signal had already been sent. They were just running late.